G'day and welcome to another video. In today's lesson we are going to learn how to make this awesome crochet skirt. You can use up lots and lots of leftover yarns with this project. I also think this would look lovely in just one colour. You can add elastic to the waist. I chose to add a crochet I-cord to keep it all a crochet project, but obviously if you want to add elastic to your waistband, this is a folded over channel here, so you can add elastic into that channel. You cannot see the I-cord from the back. And let's get started on the lesson. For our supplies, we're going to need a bunch of yarn. I'm just going to be using yarn from my stash. I've got all different colours. This is just a selection. I can't fit it all on the screen, so I've just put some on the table. This is a 8-ply, a double knit or a number 3 weight yarn. And you're also going to need a yarn needle and a pair of scissors. I will be using a 3.5mm crochet hook, and this is also a E size crochet hook. But if you want to use a worsted weight yarn, which is a 10-ply or an Aran weight, you can use a 5 or a 5.5mm crochet hook. I have loose tension, and that's why I'm going to be using a 3.5mm crochet hook. It normally recommends a 4mm or a G size crochet hook. So you can use multiple colors of yarn, or you can make this all in one color. I am choosing wool because I would like this to be a winter skirt, but this would work up in cotton and will look beautiful as a summer skirt as well. You are going to need a safety pin to thread your I-cord or your chain through your work. I'm going to be using my blue yarn to make my shapes. What is a 5-sided shape? It's not a hexagon. My mind, it's not working. So we're going to make a 5-sided shape, and as you can see, I've already made a bunch, and I'm just filming the tutorial on how to make this part here, and then the rest of the skirt, of course. And what we want to do is make enough to go around the largest part. So it's going to be a skirt, so it's going to go around the largest part. So for me, that's around my hips and my bottom, and we're going to make enough of these shapes to fit around that. So we'll do the tutorial first, and then I'll show you how many I need and where exactly they're going to go. So let's pop these aside. We're going to start with a slip knot. You can do this any way you like. And we're going to do the first round. So this is worked up like a granny square. It's the same sort of stitches. Well, it is the same stitches, it's just in a different combination. So if you've made a granny square, you will find this a easy project. So to start off, we want to chain 5. You can start with a magic circle if that's what you want to do. But I personally don't like magic circles. So we're going to do a slip stitch to join, and we're going to chain 3. You can use an alternative double crochet if you know how to do one of those, but I'm just going to keep this simple. So we're going to work into the middle, and we're going to work 2 double crochet. So I've yarned over into the middle, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. You will need to know how to do a double crochet for this project. Into the middle again, we work another double crochet, chain 1. Into the middle, we are going to work 3 more double crochets. I'm using a chain 1 in between my corners because I want this to be tight. I don't want this to stretch out because it's going around our waist. I don't want my squares to stretch out too much, so I am just using 1 chain in the corner. If you feel like you need to use 2, then go for it. So I am going to work 3 double crochets in there after my chain 1. Chain 1 again. So if you're going to do a chain 2, just stick to a chain 2 every time I do a chain 1. Again, into the middle, we're going to work 3 double crochets, and we want to continue working groups of 3 double crochets and chain 1s into the middle until we have 5 all together. So what's that? That's 1, 2, 3. So for a square you would have 4, and then for this shape that I cannot remember the name, we want 5 groups, 3. Chain 1, and then 3 more double crochets into the middle. let's just double check that. One group, two. Did I not do a chain? Honestly. 1, 2, 3. No, there is no chain there. And I'm going to leave this in the video because I don't want you to think I'm perfect, because I am not. Not even close when I come to crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So chain 1 and our fifth lot of group of 3. Chain 1 and then join. And we're going to join to the top of our very first stitch. So for me it was a chain 3. You may have a alternative double crochet, but that's totally fine. Just join in the top of that, going through the top of the stitch there. If you're going to change colour, you're going to finish off this colour, so you're going to cut your yarn and just finish that off, and then join in any of the chain 1 or chain 2, if you've done that, any of those spaces. So that's if you're changing colour. I am not going to change colour. I need to make this project in less than 3 weeks, so I think sewing in ends is just going to make it longer. So in the next 2 stitches I'm going to slip stitch into the top of the stitch. So I'm going to go in there, and I'm not going to work these tight, I'm going to keep these loose. I'm just going to work across, working a slip stitch in the top, and also into that chain 1 space. Now what we want to do, into every chain space around, we are going to work 3 double crochet. So my first one is a chain 3, so 3 double crochet, chain 1 and 3 double crochet back in that same space. So it's basically a corner of a granny square if you've ever made a traditional granny square. And we're going to put this into each chain 1 space around. So we'll have 5 chain 1 spaces. So into our next one. There's no chain 1 in between the groups, only in the groups that are in the middle there, in the space. So 1. Oops, what's happening? What's happening? 2, 3, chain 1, same space, do 3 more, into our next chain 1 space. We're going to do the same thing, and we're going to repeat this around, working 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet in each chain space. So pause the video and I'll meet you when we are ready to join. I'm up to the end and I've completed all my things. I literally just realised, where is it? That here I did 4 stitches instead of 3. And you know what? I don't care. I am going to leave it. I don't have time to frog it and start again. I'm on a time constraint. And I noticed one of the other squares I've done, not squares, whatever those weird shape, these weird shapes are. I did it on one of those as well. Again, human. I'm human. Don't judge me. I know you won't. We're going to join that together. Now what we want to do is slip stitch across to the chain 1 space, which is over here, and this is only if you're using the same colour. If you are changing colours, you are going to finish off your yarn and join your new yarn into any chain 1 space. To start our next round, we're going to chain 3. Into that chain 1 space, we're going to work 2 double crochet so that we have a total of 3 stitches. Oops, Daisy, come here. A chain 1 and then 3 double crochet back in that same chain 1 space. Into this next space, you can see we've gained a space between our corners. So our chain 1 spaces are now our corners on round 2. And then we've created this space here. So we want to crochet into that as well. If you've ever made a traditional granny square, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So into this space I've just yarned over, we're going to work 3 double crochets. Into this next one, you can see this is a corner because we've got 3 and then a chain and then 3 stitches. So into that chain 1 space we are going to work another corner because we need to keep the 5 corners going throughout this shape. So we've got 3 double crochet, chain 1 and then 3 double crochet back in that same space. Again, we've got this space here, so we want to do 3 double crochet in there. Coming up here we have another corner, so we're going to work into this space and we're going to work our corner. So that's 3 double crochet, chain 1 and 3 double crochet. Don't forget you can pause this video at any time, and also too you can slow it down or speed it up. In the settings there's a little settings wheel somewhere on your screen. Click on that and you can speed it up or slow it down. So that's another corner. We're going to repeat this all the way around, so it's just 3 into that one, a corner, 3 into that one, a corner, and 3 into there. Pause the video and I'll see you when we are ready to join. I am up to the end of our round and I'm going to join into the top of my stitch there and make a slip stitch to join. And we've got one more round. You can make as many rounds as you like on these. The more rounds you need, the less shapes you're going to make, but then the less points you'll have on your skirt. So I think I've got 9 or 10 in total. So if you want less points on your skirt, then make bigger squares. They're not squares. What are these shapes? Please let me know in the comments section. So it's 3 stitches, chain 1, 3 stitches, and this time on our straight sides we have 1 more space. So each round that you do, you'll gain an extra space. So you can see here we've got 2 spaces and then our corner. So in those spaces we're not writing anything, sorry. We're crocheting in each of those spaces 3 double crochets, and then our corner is over there. So if you are watching this video and it first comes out, there may not be a written pattern available. I have 3 weeks to get this project done, edit the video tutorial, etc, etc, and get it all out. That is not much because, you know, life, other things you got to do, not just crochet, unfortunately. So if there's no written pattern, hang tight and there will be one soon. Chain 1 and we're in our corner, so we need to go back into that space there. Oops. You can see that it's getting bigger. So I only need, just looking at my other one that I've got already done, 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds. I'm on my last round. Like I said, you can do as many as you like. So work around and I'll meet you when we are ready to join. Pause the video and I'll see you there. I have slip stitched to join and this is the end of the rounds that I want to do. You are most welcome to continue on. And don't forget, each round that you do, you're just going to gain another space in between there. So you can see we've got 3 spaces now instead of 2. So just do that. I am not going to sew my ends yet because I may be able to crochet over them, which will be amazing. Hello everyone, this is my bunch of whatever shape they are. So I have 10 altogether. And excuse my hair, I literally got out of the shower before filming this tutorial, so it's just drying. And I've got our tape measure, and this is where I'm going to measure for this skirt, because you want to be able to get it on. So I'm just going to turn sideways. So that's my bum. And that's the biggest part. So my hip is here, so it's just below my hips. And for me it is 40 inches without making it too tight. I do have a pair of pants on. These are called tracksuit pants here in Australia. What do you call them? They're fleecy and they have the tie-up waist, pockets, etc. Get you warm in winter. It's not winter here, but it's just a bit cool today. So these are going to go around our waist. Sorry if you can hear that banging, it's the garage door. This may look like an amazing studio, but you're in my garage. So I've got this, and that's going to go around like so. Okay, get the idea? This is how our skirt is coming together. I cannot get into the screen. I am going to be using a single crochet join, but you can join yours however you like. Don't forget, if you're going to join as you go, it's going to add some little width to there. So you may not need as many of these that you think you do. So I have 10, and mine measure 4.5 inches across that part there. And don't forget, this is a thinner yarn. It is not a worsted weight. It is a 8-ply DK or number 3 weight yarn. So make as many as you need to get around the biggest part around here. I'll see you in a minute. I am going to be using that to join my unknown named objects together. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab any straight side. It won't matter where you join it together, it's going to look exactly the same. So I'm just going to join it where there's no ends, just so it looks neater for the tutorial, but on the rest I'm going to join it where there is an end and I can actually crochet over it. I've got them laying good sides up, so this is your good side and that is the wrong side. So wrong side, right side. So the wrong side has sort of little, I don't know, I can't explain it, like little bits. Got bits. And then on the other side, it doesn't have any bits. It looks nicer on this side. I don't know. It's an opinion, obviously. So what we're going to do is we have them right sides facing up. I'm just going to turn them this way because we're going to join across that way. And I'm just going to pinch them together like so. We're going to find our chain space on a corner. We're going to put our crochet hook through there, and also on this one we're going to find our corner because we want to join them in the same spot. So I'm putting that over there, pulling through. We're just going to do a chain 1 just to secure that yarn in. And into that chain 1 space through both, can't even see what I'm doing, through both we are going to work a single crochet into the next stitch. I'm going to work through both loops, then I'm going to find the next stitch on the back, which is there, and I'm going to work a single crochet. After you've done a few stitches, I just like to put my finger through both spaces, and that lines up these stitches, so when you go to do them you can put your crochet hook all the way through. Let's get rid of that bit just so you can see. The crochet hook should just go all the way through. and then you work a single crochet. So we're going to go into every single stitch across. We're not going to work in the spaces, just the double crochets. Like I said, you can use any joining method. This is just the one I want to choose for this project. And then when we get to the end, we are going to crochet in that chain 1 space, or whatever chain space you have. So I should be on my last stitch there, and then go into here in the chain 1 space, and we're going to work a single crochet. We're then going to cut off our yarn and then finish off. And that is joined with awesome contrast colour. Then we grab our next shape and we're going to join along here. You could use what's that stitch when you go and you pull it and it all joins together. My brain, it's gone on vacation. I don't think it was a moss stitch, but I know that's not the answer. Okay, so you're going to join there and you're going to continue on. As you go around, you'll find that it will make sort of a circle shape. It will start to curve, but that's fine because it's going around our waist. It won't matter. This is actually what we want it to do. Go and join all of your shapes together. Pause the video and I'll see you when we are ready for the next step. I have joined all of my squares together. Why do I keep calling these squares? They're not squares. I've joined all my shapes together. And just before I join it to complete the circle, so to speak, I'm going to try it on over the biggest part. And that is fine. I don't want that super tight. I want that to be, you know, a little bit of room there. And it is going to give slightly, so that will be perfect. So I'm just going to join that seam now. This is what mine is looking like so far. I'm absolutely loving it. I do have a few ends to crochet over or sew in, but I was hoping to crochet over these ends as I do the waistband. So that is our next step. Let me know what colour you have chosen for your section that we've done here. I'd love to know. This is obviously my favourite colour, so that was what I wanted as my main section. Now that we have our shapes joined around our waist, it is time to do the waistband. You can do this a couple of different ways. I am going to do a half double crochet waistband, and then I'm going to make a I-cord for the tie-up section of the waist, so that everything is crochet rather than you have to go in to buy extra supplies. We want to have the right side looking at us. This is where we have joined our shapes together, and we can choose anywhere along here, but I'm going to just go off from this join here so that it's just not too confusing when I'm showing you. I'm just going to choose the colour that I joined with. I actually love this colour. I think I need a jumper in this. It is so pretty. So pretty. Alright, so we're just going to make a chain to secure that in there. So we've joined that in there. Just pull that bit snug. This, I'm going to crochet over this tail. And I'm going to choose the half double crochet like I said. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a chain 1 just to get up to the height that we need to be at. I'm actually going to work this in a spiral so that there's no joining seam. If you want to join each round, then that's perfectly fine. You can do that too. I'm just going to grab that stitch marker over there. You don't need to have a stitch marker, but this is going to remind me when I'm crocheting that I need to pay attention. So we're going to do a single crochet into this very first stitch. Because it's going to be a spiral, we want this stitch a bit lower so when we come around there's not a big hole. And then from now on we can choose the half double crochet. If you want to do a double crochet, what is going on? If you want to do a double crochet, still do that half double crochet and then do your double. It'll just make it a smoother transition working the spiral. So into each stitch around, we're going to work half double crochet. When we get to this join section here, I've just got my chain space, so I'm going to work my stitch in there. When we get to the join, we're just going to go through that first stitch and work our stitch, and then continue on to the chain space and continue across. I'm going to repeat that all the way around. Pause the video and I'll see you when we are back to the beginning. Coming around to the beginning, and instead of slip stitching to join just there, what we're going to do is half double crochet into that first stitch. And then we're going to continue around. And what happens when we come back around again, it'll just be a very smooth transition, and you're just going to half double crochet into every stitch and there will be no joining. I'm not sure how many rounds I'm going to do, and I'm obviously designing this as I go. So in the next video clip you will see how many I have done, and I'm thinking about 1.5 to 2 inches. That's what I'm thinking. So let's see if that's what I ended up with in the next video clip. I have completed 8 rounds on my crochet band, waistband, and I'm going to fold it over. Currently it is 6 centimeters, which is, what is that? 6 centimeters, about 2.5, whoops, about 2.5 inches. 6 centimeters wide, and I'm going to fold it in half, and that is going to be my waistband that I can put my I-cord into. Because we have chosen the half double crochet stitch, on the back of our work you will see here on the very first round of half double crochet we have these loops that have been left. So this is the 3rd loop of the half double crochet. And we're going to use those to secure our waistband down, which I think is awesome. You can stitch this with a yarn and needle, or you can crochet it. I am choosing the crochet option because it's much faster, and that's what I want to do because, like I said, 3-week deadline for this skirt. My yarn is still attached, you can see there, and we're going to fold our waistband down, and we're folding it down to this first round that we did here of the half double crochet, and we are going to fold this over, and where the loop of the first round of the half double crochet is, so just here, we're going to make a slip stitch. Can you hear those birds outside? I think they are swallows, I think. I'm not actually sure what they are. I haven't actually seen them. I'm trying to think of the birds that would hang out at my house. So again, under that loop there, work a slip stitch. Again, through the front piece, through the loop on the back piece, and work a slip stitch. We're going to do this all the way around. You can actually do it in one motion, the first 2 loops and then the loop of the half double crochet in the first round. You can just go through all at once. Don't work your slip stitch too tight. If you find it's working up too tight, you could try a bigger crochet hook and that will help. But as long as you don't have too much tension on your yarn, you will be good to go. So we're going to repeat this all the way around. When we get to the end, it's going to be joined. If you're going to use elastic in this, I would suggest joining until you have about 2 inches left, putting your elastic in, and then tying it off, stitching it, whatever you're doing to your elastic, and then you can just stitch up the rest of this. So I'm going to make an I-cord, like I said, and that's going to go in there, and that's going to be my awesome waistband. Repeat this around until we get back to the stitch marker. Pause video and I'll see you there. I am back around to the beginning, so I'm just going to cut off my yarn because we're finished with that now. And then we can just finish this off. And you can just literally poke that end inside that tube because it will disappear. So we now have our waistband done. Excellent. I love it. I love it. We can now get rid of that stitch marker that is on the back here. So attach our yarn, we are going to find any of our corner spaces. This is a chain 1 space. We're going to grab our yarn, pull it through, drop the strand at the back. We're going to chain 3. I'm just going to do my little sewing in the technically it's crocheting in the end. So you flip it over, make your chain, flip it back, make your chain, and now we want to work our corner. So do you remember what that was from all those shapes we made, all these things? It was 3 stitches, a chain, and 3 stitches. So this counts as our first. So we're going to work in double crochet, go back into that same space. Whoops, sorry, I don't want to work over that tail. I want to show you the method I use. Go into there, do your double crochet. Before you finish it off, flip that forward over the yarn so it's just gone in between the stitches there. And then we're going to do another double crochet before we finish it off, flip that back. We're going to do that on every stitch. We're going to chain 1, flip that over. So you look like all thumbs because I'm at a really odd angle at my chair. That's my excuse and I'm sticking with it. So double crochet, flip that over. Need 2 more, double crochet. Basically you just keep going with this piece of yarn until it runs out. Okay, so we've got 3 stitches, a chain, and 3 stitches. Into the next lot of spaces we're going to work 3 double crochets, and that saves us sewing in this one end. You'll still probably need to sew in the end at the end of the round, but this beginning one will be gone. That's going to be half the amount of ends that we need to sew in. Which, I don't know about you, but I think that's a win. So it's 3 stitches in that one. When we come down to where it's been joined here, you'll see the chain spaces. We actually skipped those. So we're going to go into this space with 3 double crochet. We're going to skip these chain spaces here. We're going to skip those ones, and into the next one we're going to work 3 double crochet. Into the next space, 3 double crochet. Again, into the next space, 3 double crochet. I'm whizzing along here because I'm sure by now you know how to make a double crochet because you've just made all those shapes. And then in the chain 1 space we're going to make another corner, so 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet. Chain 1 and 3 double crochet. Into each space until we get down the bottom here, so not these 2 spaces but up to there, we're going to work 3 double crochets. So we're just up to where we need to skip our spaces. So these are our chain 1s each side of our joining there. So that's quite easy, isn't it? This joining part here makes it stand out a lot. So we're going to skip that one and go into the next space, which is on the next shape. I still haven't googled what shape this is, hey? Because by the time I finish the crochet section I've forgotten that I need to Google it. And my phone is nowhere near where I film because it beeps because I forget to put it on silent. Up to the corner we are going to work 3 double crochets into each space. And then into the corner here, we're going to work another corner. So it's 3 double crochet, chain 1, and 3 double crochet. We are going to repeat this all the way around until we get back to the beginning of this round. Pause the video and I'll see you there. I am now ready to join, and before we join, I cannot stress enough that you need to go and check this round to make sure it's correct, because this is your set up round. You want to make sure you have 3 stitches and then a chain and then 3 stitches in your corner sections, and then also make sure you skipped down in the, it's called the valley and that's called the peak. It's kind of, this is going to be kind of a ripple granny, is it? Yeah, ripple granny. So this is the peak, so it's just a corner, and then this is the valley because it's at the bottom of the crochet work. So you want to make sure you've skipped all the things and put in your corners where you're supposed to. I have literally just checked mine, and once you have that bit right, we are going to join. I don't think I'm going to do a different colour every round, but I am going to do a different colour for this next round. So this skirt, I am trying to bust my stash. I did actually buy another one of these ones, and I thought I was buying another one of these, but when it got here, it is the wrong colour because I don't have the colour name for this yarn anymore. This was just literally leftovers. Rookie mistake, didn't put my yarn label in with the yarn that was left over. So I've finished off over here, but I'm actually going to go over here so I can just work away from that tail. I just find it easier when you're joining in a new yarn, and also it doesn't leave an obvious starting point. It will just blend in. So I've got my chain 3 and then 2 double crochet for a total of 3 stitches, chain 1, and 3 more double crochet into the middle, not into the middle, into the chain 1 space. And I didn't do my trick with my ends, but that's okay. Now this is going to be basically the same, but it's going to work a little different because we've now put our granny stitch row on. So we're going to crochet just normal until we get to the valley, which is the bottom where we skipped those stitches before. So you can see here, this is where we skipped our stitches. And what we're going to do is we're going to skip that space, so this space here, and crochet over here. Skip that space, crochet over there. And when we do this very first double crochet, you want to make sure this stitch here is tight, because if you leave it loose, what will happen, I'm going to leave it loose, you'll get this big loop in your stitch there, and it looks a little weird. So what you're going to do is make sure that yarn is snug, crochet, keeping tension on your yarn, and you'll find that it closes up nicely. We're going to complete our 3 double crochet. We're going to crochet across. You can't see, but my yarn ball is getting closer and closer to me. It's quite funny. The yarn isn't pulling out of the ball properly. Look, it's just here. It was like way over there. I'm pulling from the middle, and it's obviously got stuck. And I don't know what brand of yarn this pink one is. So we're going to come up to our corner, which is here. I'm going to guess and say it's an Australian yarn and it's Fibre Lily, but I'm not 100% sure. Again, it's just something left in my stash. So I've done my 3 double crochets, my chain 1, and then 3 double crochet again in that corner or the peak of our ripple. So it's looking good. We're going to repeat this all the way around. This round is our repeat for the remainder of our skirt. You can make this any length that you like. In my head, I've got it pictured as a long skirt, but we'll see how much I can get finished before the 3-week deadline is up, because I want to get this crocheted pattern and tutorial out at the same time as when I have to wear it. Pause the video. I'll meet you when we are ready to join. I have just finished my granny stitch round and I'm ready to join. I'll join into there. And then if you're not changing colour and you want to continue on with this same one that we have, this is what we're going to do. We're going to slip stitch in each stitch until we get to that chain space. Then we're going to start our round again. Chain 3, 2 double crochet, chain 1, and into that same space 3 double crochet. And we're going to repeat the last round that we did, doing our corners in our corners or the peaks, and then skipping that stitch down here when we get down to the bottom of the valley. Repeat this for as many rounds as you like. I want to put an edging on this, but I'm not sure. Let me know what edging you would put on there. Obviously you're going to see which one I do, but let me know what you would have chosen. Pause the video and I'll see you when we have finished the length of our skirt. The next step for our skirt is we're going to make an I-cord, and I'm going to put a video up here on the screen and also a link in the description box for you to crochet an I-cord. If you don't want to crochet an I-cord, an I-cord, you can also just make a chain. You could make a chain and then single crochet back across to the length that you need to go around your waist and then tie it in a bow or a knot, however you want to eventually style your skirt. Once we have our I-cord finished, then we are going to thread it into our skirt. You want to the front of your skirt, it's basically the same all the way around. You're going to choose to place it between our granny shapes. I still haven't figured out what that name is. So I'm going to go between here, so around here is where I want it to pop out. So grab your pin and put it in one end. I had left this tail out because I was going to use that to thread through, but then I literally just realised that it's not going to work and you're going to need a safety pin to do this, not a sewing needle. So we're going to find where we want to go. I'm just going to go up here and then go across 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to go into that stitch there. I'm just going to wiggle my safety pin through. If you ever put elastic in anything, you know that you scrunch up the band, and I'm pushing the safety pin through the, what's this bit called? It's the waistband, but it's called something else as well. The channel. Aha! Brain hasn't failed me and I didn't have to edit anything out. All my pausing moments that I have to edit out. So we're just pushing it through. So you can't see the sewing needle now, but I can feel it, it's in there. And I'm just pushing this along, scrunching up the channel, grabbing it with my thumb and finger on the back, and just pulling this part across. And what that should be doing is sucking in that I-cord. So push it along as much as you can, grab it, and then pull. I don't know if you saw that, but I just looked and it was pulling that in. So yay, it's working. For a second there I did not think it was working. Alright, and then pull that along. This is all going to scrunch up, and then when we get to the end we can fix it. But just make sure that this I-cord doesn't pull all the way through, otherwise you'll have to do this part again. And nobody wants to do that. So I'm just working my way back around, doing the same thing. You'll see it's all bunched up here, but that doesn't matter because we can fix it. Now you can't tell this, but I'm sitting in my studio and I swear it is about 30 degrees in this room, and that is about, I'm going to say about 80 or 90 degrees. I don't know. I'll look it up and put it on the screen. Let's just say I'm sweating. Alright, so we're going to come back. This is where this one's coming out, and then I want to go, oh gosh, this is all crunched up. Go where the other join is, and I'm going to, did I say it's hot in here? Oh, my brain isn't working. I'm going to go across 4 stitches from where this join is, so about there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I want my safety pin to come out that hole. And then push it out there, and hopefully the I-cord is going to follow. If not, it's fallen off. And we've got to do this all again. Okay, hold your breath. Whoa. Yes! Yes, okay, so now pull that, and that will pull that through. You can see I've used 2 colours for mine. I just used up basically what I had. Then we're just going to take our safety pin off. And then I'm just going to sew these ends in because, like I said, I left them out because I thought we were just going to sew them through. You know how it's not until you actually do something that's, get in there, that you realise, oh, that's not going to work. Need to change that up a bit. That's fine. That's fine. Alright, so let's pull that through. Oh, geez, Claire, you did a great job at sewing that in. If you've got longer hair, does your hair get into all your projects? Mine does, and my goodness. Okay, so when we're threading it, the needle through, make sure it is actually disappeared into your I-cord. That should help. Much better. Much better. See, my I-cord tension is a little loose. I actually had to go and watch my own tutorial to make this I-cord. And I used double strands to make my I-cord, and I was struggling. I thought I knew how to do an I-cord. Apparently not. So if you're struggling with something, don't worry. Because I've crocheted for, and I'm not saying I'm a genius or an expert, but I've crocheted for over 20 years, and I was having problems crocheting an I-cord. Which in my head I thought would be easy. It is easy once you get going. But, oh my gosh, I love it, love it, love it. I love how the 2 colours have come out. Because somewhere in there's a join with the other colour, and I was worried that it wouldn't come out of this here and you would see the join. But I haven't. Yeah. I have finished my skirt and I love it. I love it so much. I have not washed or blocked it, but it's finished. Love it. Now I have the option, I could actually make this longer. I made it short because I did have 3 weeks to get it finished. But I've made it short to see if I like it short, and then if I prefer it long, I'm actually going to add more to it. So it's up to you what you want to do. I love it so much. It's so cool. I love this bright colour. This has been discontinued. This was dyed by the lovely Chantel, but she's not dyeing yarn anymore. So this bright orange here and on the band is very special to me because it's the last that I could get of it. But I love how it pops in this skirt. Some people might hate fluoro colours, but I love them, and I've added them with some rather natural colours. But I love it, and I cannot wait to wear it. I will be making a separate video. It will be separate because I need this tutorial ready before the yarn show, but this was my yarn show skirt. Maybe that's what I should call it, but I love it. And when I wash this and block it, it will be a little more drapey and also a little longer. So you can see it's quite short at the minute. So it will get a little longer, but I cannot wait. Thank you so much for watching this video tutorial, and if you got this far, leave me your best chicken emoji. I love it. Thank you so much for watching my tutorial. I really appreciate that. Give it a thumbs up if you like the video and subscribe if you want more crochet content. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, happy crochet. Bye.